Hi, and welcome to the Take the Stage podcast. I'm your host, Alexis Sabras, and I'm on a mission to help make diversity more of a reality for lower middle market and middle market investment firms. Take the Stage celebrates and amplifies diverse voices and serves as a platform for conversations that encompass a wide range of perspectives. You're going to hear candid conversations that touch on career paths, the not so linear kind, valuable insights, practical advice, and honest stories on navigating and succeeding on the buy side. Today on Take the Stage and our special series, Ladies Who Rock, we're going to talk to Clara de Bienassis, People and Wellbeing Director at Stone Soup Consulting, a socially impactful strategic consultancy that fosters diverse perspectives to solve modern challenges. We're going to talk about Clara's transition from finance and banking to the impact sector, the unique culture of Stone Soup Consulting and how it promotes diversity, well-being, and flexibility, the benefits and challenges of managing a remote international team in a consultancy environment, how Stone Soup implements and benefits from a 4-day workweek, the role of empathy in business and how it's woven into the fabric of Stone Soup's operations, and more. Welcome to part of our two-part series on impact investing. Today, we are going to shift gears and we are going to focus on Clara de Bienassis and her career journey. While we won't be diving directly into impact investing itself today, Clara's story is a great fit for the series as it showcases the power of purpose-driven work and the path to creating meaningful change. And I certainly think her insights are definitely worth tuning in for. So we're going to dive right in. Clara, why don't you just kind of take us through a high-level introduction of yourself and your career path, and we'll go from there.
Thank you. Thank you, Alexis. I'm very happy to be with you today. So I'm Clara de Bienassis. I have 20 years of professional experience. I studied management and finance. And I started my career in this sector, but quickly I shifted to the impact sector. I started to work in philanthropy and corporate social responsibility. And now I am in Stone Soup Consulting, which I joined 11 years ago, and I am the People and Wellbeing Director. And Stone Soup is a B Corp company, a social impact-driven company, so which is quite uncommon for strategic consultancy.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So, as someone that interviews people for a living, I'm always very interested in the story and the whys and the hows, and what drives us to make the decisions and choose the career paths that we choose. So you had started your career in banking, and what I want to know is what led you to make the leap into social impact?
Good question. So yes, indeed. I think I studied finance and banking because I was influenced by my family, and I think I didn't have clear ideas of other possible paths for my career. But since my childhood, I was very inspired by the solidarity sector. And when I was doing some volunteering at my school with vulnerable children or with elderly people, I was really moved by those experiences. And also at the same time, I was very curious about international relations. I finished my my career in finance and banking, and I started to work in this sector. But at the same time, when I was 20, I made an internship in an NGO in Paris, where I discovered the development sector and microfinance. And I was really inspired by the people that were working there. And I thought, well, something else is possible. And maybe I can find a way to put my skills to benefit other organizations with more impact. And this is what I did. I left for a rural area in Ecuador, where I volunteered for an NGO, which was focusing on agroecology. And there I had a great experience working with women leading microcredit funds. So I also provided some training to social and local organizations, and also helped them improve their self-esteem, because it's something women there miss a lot. And then coming back to France, well, it was clear that I wanted to have meaning in my work, and I wanted to have an impact. And I started to work in philanthropy and in corporate social responsibility.
In like what part of banking had you worked in before before you kind of made that shift?
So yeah, it was investment banking. I think I enjoyed the international part of it and the fact that also I was interacting with different people. But at the end of the day, yeah, I was thinking what is the meaning of what I do? And I decided, yeah, that this time I need to make a change, and I really need to find somewhere where I feel at ease, and I feel I am useful for something, and I can really have an impact, social impact.
So you were a recovering investment banker.
Maybe, yes, kind of.
That's a way to to describe it. Okay. So again, like I talk with a lot of candidates that sound very much so like, maybe how you were or where you were at your life, in your life when you're trying to find perhaps more meaning, or the way that I always describe it is, what fills your bucket. So, how did you, once you figured out that, okay, maybe there was more to investment banking, and you went on that process of discovery, if you will, through these experiences, how did you then evaluate opportunities to make sure that they did align with not only your values, but those long-term goals that most of us, almost all of us, have?
Yeah, that's a good question. The first point was to see what was really the strategy of the organization I was working for. Is it just an intention, or is the organization really equipped to work on social impact? Are we aligned in terms of values? Because I think if we are not aligned, I don't feel comfortable at all. And I cannot work with colleagues if we don't speak the same language. Also, I am a very intuitive person. So I think very quickly I can see if this place will be the right one for me or not.
So then how did you come to Stone Soup? Talk to us a little bit about that journey, and then we'll go into a little bit more there.
Okay, so I worked almost 8 years in the saving bank group in France, where I worked at philanthropy and corporate social responsibility departments. And then for personal reasons, we went to Madrid with my family. I happened to meet with one of my partners now, and I think we are quite aligned. And after some positive collaborations, I became a partner of the company, and now I am the people well-being director of the company.
So, as you know, I am very focused on working with women and other underrepresented groups, and so I want to get from your experience and get your thoughts on how have you seen diverse perspectives contribute to or lead to better problem solving and innovation, particularly at Stone Soup?
Well, diversity is a core value at Stone Soup, but it's not only a value that is written on paper. It's really something that is very important to us. And I think what illustrates that is our community of consultants, because we work with a community of independent consultants. And now we have 60 people from more than 12 countries. And we think it's very rich for our consultants and also for our clients to have diverse profiles, because working with people with different backgrounds, different areas of expertise, and approaching challenges from multiple angles, it can be very interesting for them. And we know by experience, because we ask feedback to our clients, that it's something they enjoy a lot at Stone Soup, is the diversity of profiles we have.
So another thing I wanted to touch on, because you have a team of consultants that are dispersed throughout the country or throughout the globe. And so you had mentioned to me that you actually have, it's a team that is over 60 people. They are all remote. You've also implemented a 4-day work week. Let's talk first about how you've actually been able to do this.
The 4-day week has started last year. It has been a trial just for the staff members. And yeah, because we are very open about well-being. And I think we always ask how everyone is feeling. And we heard that some team members had difficulties in finding a good work-life balance. And we thought, okay, we can try. And we like to innovate. And yeah, we tried. And after 4 months, we saw that it was working. So instead of working 35 hours per week, those people only work 32 hours, so 8 hours per day. So they have the same workload and the same salary. But at the same time, well, they have more time to care themselves and just to be with their family and their friends. And we have seen it's very beneficial for them. They tell us that their well-being has improved. They feel much more relaxed. And also on the management side, we haven't seen differences in their work. I mean, they deliver what they have to deliver. They are efficient in their work. And we feel that they have higher energy. So the experience has been very positive. But yeah, we like to give flexibility to our team. And we wanted that not only the consultants that we had that are already independent, so they are very flexible and they can organize their time as they want, but we also wanted that our team, our core team, could have flexibility in their work.
That's amazing. So there's I mean, you haven't, from the management perspective, seen any differences in terms of productivity?
No, not at all. It's difficult to say if the productivity has gone higher, but what we can see is that there is efficiency in the work and everyone feels better. So what we were looking for. So it's very positive experience.
Mm-hmm. One of the other things that you had mentioned to me that is a word that I don't hear thrown around or used very often in business is empathy. And you mentioned to me that, empathy is something that is embedded as a core pillar of your company culture. And I want you to elaborate on that because, again, I think it's very unique to hear this term, built in and baked into kind of company culture. So share a little bit, what that means and how that's reflected at a cultural level.
I think it's linked with intuition. And I think also it's linked with the fact that Stone Soup is a woman-led company. So we are 4 women partners. We dedicate a lot of time just to listen to our colleagues. And I think it's really the key for success. Also because we work in a very specific environment. So as I mentioned before, our consultants work remotely. We work for social impact. And our consultants are independent. So we must be very flexible and understand very well how everyone is working and understand everyone's specificities and the constraints. So yeah, I think with empathy, we can turn diversity into a strength. And that's really what we try to apply at Stone Soup. I also link it to vulnerability, because I think we all have the right to fail. And of course, we have failed several times. And if we communicate that clearly and with honesty, it's not a problem. And we can even learn from this experience.
Oh, I love that. I really, I can certainly appreciate this position. And I don't know if it's, maybe it's not a coincidence that it's a woman-led organization that is very focused on flexibility, focused on empathy. And I like how you also introduced vulnerability. On the previous episode with Maria de Palacio, we talked about that vulnerability and how when we are with women in a professional setting, there is a level of vulnerability that you don't necessarily see or feel when it is a mixed group. So if you're in a part of a group with all men or with more men, and neither one of us could really indicate why that we feel where with women we can be a little bit more vulnerable. But I thought it was interesting that you also mentioned that, because it's something I think there is something to that. And of course, you can't throw just a blanket statement because, it could certainly be different. But I do think that in the large majority of cases, that sense of vulnerability, that sense of leading with empathy is really it can be a key driver for success and for team leadership. So I think that's something that certainly requires spotlighting for Stone Soup. As someone who's helping to lead this remote mission-driven team, I'd love to hear your take on what we are now seeing happening across a variety of different industries in terms of um, having to work 5 days a week from the office. So where do you see the future of remote work, especially for mission-driven organizations like yourself and others?
Yeah, I see this is a trend. But in our case, in Stone Soup, it's not something that we consider because we know that our consultants enjoy a lot of flexibility. And also we know that we couldn't have such diversity if we were working at the same office in just one place. So yeah, but also it's a challenge because when people work remotely, it's not so easy to create really a culture, a company culture. So you have to use different techniques and to always stay connected with your people. But I think now what really people want is flexibility. And in consultancy, you work more in terms of objectives than in terms of I have my 8 hours per day of work and I need to be at the office and to deliver. I mean, we expect more than that from consultants. They must be autonomous. So I don't see that really feasible for consultants.
What are some of the things that you do to build that connection among your team, given the time zones, the locations, just the differences in languages, etc.?
Yeah, so at Stone Soup, we have different platforms to share and to communicate. So of course we have the emails, but then we use a lot of Teams. And so we use Teams for every consultancy project. But then also we have some specific channels just to speak of other topics that can be of interest of our consultants. So for example, we have one where we recommend trainings on social impact. Then another one where we speak of book suggestions, another one where we speak of ethics. And also we have developed some virtual coffees. So when someone is available and wants to have a chat with someone from the community, they just say, yeah, I'm there. Who is available in the next 30 minutes? And let's have a coffee just to connect because it is really, really important. Also, remote works have sometimes some limitations and we need to be face to face. So we encourage a lot of people that live or in the same area to meet face to face for just meetups, share a coffee, have a lunch together. So we do it from time to time. And every 2 years, we have a retreat for a Stone Soup community. We had our last one in May near Madrid, and it was a great moment just to be together, to work together, to spend nice moments together, to share whatever. Because in the end, we're human beings, and we need those genuine connections, and they are as much as important as the work we do. And we need to feel comfortable with our colleagues, and we need to feel that we are aligned, and so that we can trust them and work together.
What I hear from all of this is, to be able to work in that type of an environment. I mean, it's certainly possible, but you have to be very intentional, right? And that's a common theme that I talk about all the time. Is just anything that you want to achieve requires intention. So what would be one piece of advice that you would give to leaders who are interested in building a values-driven culture like the one you've described at Stone Soup?
I think it's really important to think of the purpose and why you do that. and also to gather of team that really share the intention, as you mentioned before, and define together the strategy, I would say, because if it's not done collectively, I don't think it can work. It's something that we see at Stone Soup. So we have ideas of how we can work together, but what is clear to us is that we can integrate only people that are aligned with us and that want to join a community of consultants because they want to work first as a group of people. They're ready to share experiences and they want to work as a group and not only alone, because we feel that there are many people who work isolated, and when they want to join Stone Soup is because they want to work in a different way and they want to work with a team, and that's what we can bring.
One last question before we wrap up: what does the name Stone Soup mean?
So there's a legend about the Stone Soup, and I like it a lot. It says that travelers arrived after a long trip into a village where people are all hungry, and they are also very hungry, the travelers. So they ask for food to the people, but those people don't have anything to share because they're all very poor. So the travelers had the idea to put just a pot in the middle of the village with some water and a stone, because it's the only thing they have. And then the villagers feel curious, and they come out of their house and they all share an ingredient. And at the end, it's a very rich soup, and they all have it together. So it's what we promote at Stone Soup is just being together, being curious, and share our best ingredients.
Oh, that I like that. I'm glad I asked that question. So we will wrap up with that lovely legend story for Stone Soup. So Clara, thank you so much for taking the stage with us and sharing a little bit about your career path, as well as Stone Soup and everything that Stone Soup is doing to build this phenomenal culture, empathy-driven, mission-driven. I love it. So thank you again for taking the stage.
Thank you, Alexis. Thank you very much for the opportunity.